Welcome to Council Connection. I'm Melissa Youssef, Mayor and Durango City Councilor. This program is designed to give you a snapshot of happenings at the most recent Durango City Council meeting. And this time, we look at the February 18th meeting. Our meeting opened with a presentation on the Animas River Trail North pedestrian bridge at 32nd Street. Parks Director Kathy Metz discussed the past decade of work, consideration, and public input that has resulted in the proposed trail connection. Parks Assistant Director Scott McLean reviewed several alternatives that had been considered for trail connection that were ultimately determined to be unfeasible or too expensive due to surrounding terrain and other factors. And Parks landscape architect Scott Chisholm described reasons for the current design.
So really, how did we get here? 3 reasons: aesthetics, feasibility, and cost. This looks really similar to one of the diagrams earlier. It was actually the second one that Scott showed you, with the red line, where the crossing was south of 32nd. And we're really trying to compress that distance between Memorial Park and Animas City Park. The feasibility of getting a bridge across the river is a big deal. We were looking at one of the shortest ways to get across the river, and this location is that. We've positioned this trail trying to work with the fewest or the least amount of direct impacts to residential properties.
Then during public participation, almost 24 people spoke, splitting 50-50 on the need for the bridge.
When are you going to do something down at Home Depot and go on to Three Springs? And that's where I think some of this money could be used if you don't have to go across the river and then back across the river and up the trail.
If we can't get across 32nd Street and the river, I fail to see how we're going to get across 550, 160 and go to Three Springs, because that is a big job. Let's get this 40-year dream done.
Why not create a more direct trail connection? It's the first alternative that was explained to us between the rec center and Oxbow Park by staying entirely on the west side of the railroad tracks.
To do a surface street crossing, it's dangerous. You lose the experience of the bike path.
I definitely support the 32nd crossing, but the bridge that crosses the river, I just kind of see as a blight.
Projects that represent legacy opportunities come to every city council. Projects for which generations of residents and subsequent councils are grateful. The Animas River Trail is such a legacy project. Please build your legacy as the council that completed it, not the one that failed to do so.
It's such a beautiful view when you look down the river and see all the rocks, snow on top of them, and it just breaks my heart to think that we're going to be staring at this monster steel bridge going across.
We have gone, how many years have we gone now? I mean, this project is ready to go. It is next in line.
This is a different design. This really doesn't seem that it was vetted by the public.
Grand Junction Sentinel had an editorial in 2019. It said Grand Junction could learn a lesson from Durango on how successful our Parks and Rec department has been. It's time that we learn a lesson for ourselves, okay?
There will be 2 more public meetings on the Animas River Trail North pedestrian bridge, including February 26th at a multimodal advisory board meeting at 4 p.m. at City Hall, and February 27th, a community meeting at 5 p.m. at the Rec Center. A request for proposal for construction of the project has been issued, with bids being opened March 24th. This will provide the community with an accurate cost estimate of the proposal. Our one legislative public hearing concerned the Durango and La Plata County Strategic Plan on Homelessness. The plan is a result of several years of work and brings together numerous community groups, the city, and the county to work on a combination of strategies to address homelessness.
One of the things that was identified was a need for greater coordination among agencies, organizations, individuals, and the local governments. There was certainly a recognition that there is a great deal of agencies and organizations and individuals, as well as the local governments, who do a lot of different things related to homelessness, but the coordination among them could improve to essentially get a better value for the resources committed.
Councilors unanimously adopted the plan, which should commence later this spring. The only quasi-judicial public hearing was a fairly routine request by Fast Track Communication for an easement to install fiber optic cable on Avenida del Sol. It was approved with little discussion. And Council received a detailed report from Community Development on their public process concerning marijuana hospitality businesses in Durango, which became legal in Colorado as of January 1st.
So the state of Colorado can now issue licenses for marijuana consumption hospitality establishments, but jurisdictions do have to opt in for this process, and we either can opt in through ordinance and resolution, or we can opt in through a referendum, or we can at this point essentially opt out, which means we don't take any action right now. And if we don't take any action, then hospitality establishments are not allowed in the city limits.
Several councilors indicated that they didn't feel the marijuana hospitality issues was a high priority right now and requested that planners continue to monitor developments. Interim City Manager Amber Blake reported that sales taxes for 2019 were up 3.1% over 2018, and lodgers' taxes were up 6.8% in 2019. Here are some upcoming events you might find interesting to attend. A public meeting on the use of e-bikes on soft surface trails will be held Wednesday, March 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Durango Community Recreation Center. And it's time to think about spring cleanup and getting your piles ready. This year, pickup will begin April 6th and will run for 5 weeks rather than 4. Watch for more details coming up soon. Our next study session is February 25th at 4 p.m. And since March 3rd is Super Tuesday, our next regular City Council meeting is being moved to Monday, March 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Agendas for meetings are posted at durangogov.org/meetings. And remember, if you haven't done so yet, please take the Civility First Durango Pledge by visiting durangogov.org/CRC. And that's Council Connection for the February 18th Durango City Council meeting. I'm City Councilor and Mayor Melissa Youssef. Thanks so much for joining us. And remember, you can always contact your city councilors via email at citycouncil@durangogov.org.